Welcome to part 2 of this build series, where I'm going to convert this old printer into something more exciting and more useful. This build will be based on the wonderful designs Voron Trident and Voron 2.4. I will use the gantry from the Trident and the belted C from 2.4, but I'll only use 3 belts. Are you able to guess what this part is for? I'm going to reveal that later in this video. I would like to thank everyone who contributed to this build project by useful comments and encouragement. I was told that ABS Plus was a bad choice for functional parts, so I'm changing that. The prints looked great, but looking at the technical datasheet, you can see that this isn't the one to use. The heat distortion temperature of just 73 Celsius is far too low. Before reprinting the parts, I had a look at the TDS for a different ABS, and this one has higher heat distortion temperature. Reprinting the parts didn't cause any problems, they didn't warp, and they came out quite good. Though I haven't dialed in this filament, so it's not perfect by any means. And with this filament I get a completely different color scheme. It's more like a ratty green. So far most of my designs have been based on simple sketches and then just winging it. Having the complete CAD model from the Voron design team is very useful. I still have to print and reprint parts to get them right, but having this CAD model available makes stuff a lot easier. The frame I'm going to build is identical to the Trident, with just the addition of a very small extrusion to fix this rear stepper motor for the belted C. In this case I have just reused the right front end side and turned it 180 degrees around. I'm now ready to build a frame, and I have the extrusions, the oil and the taps, and this will be a blind joint frame, very basic and as documented in the documentation for Trident. About 1 hour later, all the extrusions have been tapped as per the documentation. The next step is to attach the button head screws. We then need to drill the access holes in these upright extrusions, 4 of them, and I'm using this very cheap drill press, don't buy it. It's weak and noisy. I like using jigs when I do stuff like this, and I designed this quick and dirty solution for that. You'll find some tools in the STLs folder with the Voron printer, but I wanted to make my own, and these are a little bit more sturdy. This one is for offsetting the access hole 140 mm from the top of the extrusion. The Voron printers are designed by engineers and not from someone from the accounting department, and that's great, but sometimes things seem to be a little bit overspec'd. Like for instance the choice of fasteners. I know this is a minor detail, but these are quite expensive and these are dirt cheap, and they will not reduce your print quality. And this is when that mystery part from the introduction turns up again. I made this with TPU, and it's easy to take these off and put them back on into the rail. By using these you can pre-position some of the T-nuts without them sliding around inside the frame. You can then join the extrusions. You still need some drop-in T-nuts, but the number will be reduced. This is what the frame looked like with all the main extrusions assembled, still missing a couple of extrusions on this one. With the basic frame assembled, I could do some testing and see how my parts fit and if there's enough clearance. I think this will work. It's a little bit tight for this belt clip, but I think it will be just about right. The next part of this build will be a bit simpler. I will now just have to stick to the steps as outlined in the documentation for the 2.4. They use a lot of heated inserts in this printer and I like to work with them. It's easy to get a pretty good result, and I'm buying this stuff from CNC Kitchen. I was hoping I could complete the 3C stepper motors and belt assembly this week, but I'm still waiting for the closed loop belts I need for this printer. If you have seen some of my previous videos, you could see I used a modified 3D for these heated inserts, but that failed this week and I had to use a soldering iron instead. CNC Kitchen also had a tip that I could use on my soldering iron, so that was great. In part 3 of this series I hope to have the complete set axis ready and also work on the bed attachment. We'll see how far that goes. Waiting for parts isn't fun, but they'll get here eventually. Thank you for watching and hope to see you back for part 3. Bye for now.